Hi everyone, my name is Johanna Edepil and I'm the CMO at XMReality. And with me today I have Jörgen Remelge, our CEO.
Good day everyone and good day Johanna.
We are here today to discuss the result in our Q2 2022 report. And Jörgen, obviously it's been a slow quarter, but what are the main reasons behind the low order intake and the, modest growth of ARR?
Yeah, you're correct. We could almost reiterate what we said last quarter. It was a slow quarter financially, but a strong quarter operationally. If you take the financial side now, so obviously the order intake is below expectations, and here we have the two elements: upscale of the existing customer base, and of course new sales. If you look at the existing customer base, we have we're in principle flat this quarter, almost or little churn, I would say within a few percentages, which is below our target for the churn. Licenses are about flat, so they're not scaling up, which we want. We have, of course, post-pandemic now seeing some of the customers previously scaling down a bit as they bought a little bit too many licenses during the pandemic. But of course, the product we do have today tap into the aftermarket segment within the current customer base, which is only so big, right? So that is within the industrial side currently not growing. I think it's in principle flat. So I think for the intermittent problem solutions, the number of licenses the current customer base has is enough.
And if we look at new customers, what are the reasons behind us not closing orders?
Right. So I think we're in a twilight zone currently in between the pandemic and the Ukrainian crisis. So we see that we have much better traction if we can go out and meet the customers or the potential new customers, as opposed to only doing digital marketing. I think the two works best in combination or in harmony. So that has been coming back to us, and we have restarted that late last year. And then, of course, some of the companies and industries that are affected by the Ukrainian crisis, they are a bit careful. They hold on their investments, and they hold on some of the operational improvement projects, digitalization projects within the industries, which means that maybe the decision process is not as swift as it was previously.
And speaking about investments, as a company, XMReality are right now investing or has invested a lot in two different areas. One is the product development, and the other one is our expansion in the US. And if we look at our product development, we actually reached quite a milestone just a month ago. So if you could talk a little bit about the new product we've just released and what it will mean for us.
That is correct. And it was a big step. We launched a new product early July. And remember that I said that we are only tapping into, or mainly tapping into, the aftermarket process with the previous product. This product now allows us to access maybe 50% of the company, industrial company processes, while the old product could tap into only 10% of the value generating elements in a company.
Okay, so therefore these existing customers that you were talking about before, we now actually see expansion possibilities there.
Right, of course we always try to find ways to expand, but for sure this new product is going to significantly help that possibility, and we can go after procurement, we can go after production, we can go after quality now, which previously was very difficult.
And our new team over in the US, how are they progressing?
Well, as you said, we have invested also in the marketing and sales team in the US. We have it in place from late last year, I would say. And of course, the first step into making a contract with the customer is to have a sales pipeline, which is there and growing. And we see good signs now that the sales pipeline is growing in the US. US has independently signed a number of smaller contracts, no big contracts yet. But I think the most positive sign here is the increased sales pipeline in the US.
And on that note, Jörgen, we've also done several events here. I think we've done 5 exhibitions during this quarter, and you mentioned in the report that we have done around 100 demonstrations. But why are these demonstrations important for us in our future pipeline?
Right. 100 in the month of June only. Right?
Yeah, that's true. So, just in the month of June.
Anyways, the process is that step 1, or in global explanation, 1, you find a customer, a potential customer, company, industrial company that's interested. 2, you sit down with that potential client, do the company pitch, and do the demonstration. 3, you send a proposal, and 4, you negotiate and get to a contract. That is the typical process and the absolute most common process we have here at XMReality to actually sign a contract. There are a few exceptions, but they are few. So, without a demonstration, no contract.
Yep.
Or to get to a contract, we need to do a demonstration. Yep. So that's why these are important to us.
So this is an early indication of sales.
Correct.
And speaking about closing deals, we've previously mentioned that we have around 1, 2, 3 quarters lead time there. But do you think that will be affected now by the current market situation?
I think, is it going to change with a new product? Is it going to change with the market conditions? Well, it's difficult to say. We see some positive signs from SaaS companies in the US from Q2 this year. Do we see the same thing in Europe? Not yet, I would say. Maybe Europe is more affected by the Ukrainian crisis than the US. I think bigger companies that are affected by the Ukrainian crisis, maybe they will continue to be a bit careful. However, there are plenty of mid-sized, smaller companies out there that I think have also a situation which is less affected. So in broader terms, I don't think it will change that much, to be honest with you.
And wrapping it up, what are your biggest takeaways from this quarter?
No, my biggest takeaways are, 1, we have the new product now out on the market. It was well received in presentations, very easy to demonstrate tangible savings, tangible value generation from the product. And we now go out and sell that to not only to new customers, but also to existing customers, because it actually has a better fit. And then number 2, of course, now the US team, where we see the sales pipeline growing from a complete and independent marketing and sales teams. So that's the by far the biggest 2 most important takeaways from this quarter.
And with that said, we'll wrap it up for this quarter and return when it's time for the Q3 reporting.
Yeah, correct. And thank you, Johanna, and goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, goodbye.